Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a few practical things that you should have with you if you're looking to move to Ghana. Things that will make your move more seamless, easier, and just overall more comfortable, because if you're moving from your own country and to a new country, it's never easy. Now that I'm here, I now know what I should have brought to make my move much more seamless. But before we start, please subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow. I'm creating a little community here and I'm so excited talking to you guys about all things Ghana. I have more content coming. I've shot some videos showing some of the most beautiful places in Ghana that I've visited so far. I'll be sharing these places very soon. And yes, so just smash that like button, subscribe, and without further ado, let's start with the first point. So the first point is, I feel that just to make your move more comfortable, you can ship some of your furniture. Not all, as this may be very expensive, but you can ship maybe your couches and just the big items, so that when you get here, it's not a struggle for you and you kind of have a little piece of home with you. Otherwise, if you don't want to ship some of your furniture, perhaps find a furnished apartment, because if you're getting here for the first time and you don't know where to buy things, it may be a little hard and difficult, especially if you're new, completely new, and you don't know anybody here. Then it may be hard. So either ship your things to the country or find a furnished apartment. There are quite a few furnished apartments here which are reasonable, which I actually think works out cheaper than having to get a place that's not furnished and then you still have to go look for furniture. There are some furniture shops, but I feel like from what I've seen, they are really overpriced in comparison to just shipping your things or ordering them from overseas. You can have people make them for you, but I mean, if you're just moving here for the first time, this can be a long process. So maybe if you're here maybe 2 years within, then you can start looking at those options. But if you're here for the first time, definitely look at these options. And yeah, that is my very first tip. The second tip I have is, if you're working on your documentation, make sure that you have the appropriate visa that will allow you to stay here long term. If you're looking to work here and you've gotten a job, then that will be much easier. Or if you're looking to study here, then you can get a resident permit, and this is really easy to get so long as you have your paperwork from either your job or your school. Then you're good to go. So look into these things before you leave the country, because you don't want to run into any issues when you get here. And then also make sure to have your yellow fever card. Otherwise, you're not going to be let into the country without this. This is very important to have. Get this vaccination either at home, at your local doctor, because if you don't have it, then you have to get it at the airport, and this is really expensive. So just avoid all the trouble and just get it at home beforehand. I think you have to get it I think it's a month before, so that the vaccination can actually go through your body or something like that. But yeah, just look into that option. Definitely have your yellow fever card and look at the visa options available to you so that you don't run into any issues. Number 3 is, if you're bringing any of your electronics, say kettles and phones and laptops and things like that, make sure to buy the necessary cables, because you may not find them here. So it's just better to have spare ones, as well as the necessary plugs and the 2-pin plugs and international plugs. As well, the voltage may differ from other places that you are coming from, so make sure that you have the correct cables, extra cables, so that you don't run into any problems. I actually had this issue with my laptop as well as my phone charger, so I had to go and look for an international plug, but this was very, very expensive, but I had no option. So I had to buy this. And so just so you avoid getting into this issue like I did, just buy your own before you leave the country. Number 4 is, if you are moving, make sure to buy all your essential clothing items and your shoes in your country before you come here, because if you're expecting to go on a shopping spree for like Western clothes and things like that, it may be a bit difficult. And I mean, there are some shops, but they're very overpriced because obviously they're being imported into the country, and obviously there'll be a markup. So just make sure to buy all your essential items, like your jeans and, you know, just the practical clothing that you'll need when you get here, because it may be difficult for you. I mean, you can order online and you can buy from vendors that buy clothes from outside the country, but it's just easier to just get them beforehand, and then here and there as time goes you can buy pieces from these in this way. What I've been doing though is I've been buying material, local Ankara material, and getting my stuff sewn by a seamstress, and I just find these prints really beautiful, and making garments is so much cheaper than actually buying clothes. So this is what I've changed and adapted my wardrobe to anyway. For the men, they can make shirts, you know, the list is endless. So since I've gotten here, I've been enjoying making different designs for my dresses and things like that. But if you want to change it up, just make sure that you buy your shoes and things before you leave, because also buying clothes online is really expensive because of the custom fees and all of that. So just to avoid going through that hassle, make sure to buy your clothes beforehand, and then you can just add on to your wardrobe with other kind of pieces when you get here. And my very last tip is that if you're looking to move here, make sure to start looking for accommodation 3 to 6 months beforehand, because you may run into difficulties when you start looking for accommodation when you get here. So make sure to start looking at some websites, which I'll put in the description below, such as mecasa.com, and there are various websites you can start looking at. That way you can start speaking to agents, save their numbers, and then they can send you options, pictures and videos of accommodation options. As I've said in my previous videos, you have to pay rent a year in advance, so you'll need to put money aside. So it's better to plan ahead of time and see what your options are and how many bedrooms you'll be needing and which areas. Location is very important here if you're looking, also depending on if you're going to be working and which area, where you need to live. So all these factors come into play. So make sure to start looking ahead of time, contacting the necessary people and saving your money up front. Then, as I said in my first point, there are furnished and unfurnished options, but I would suggest that you get a furnished option, because when you're moving here, it's just easier, especially if you're starting out and you don't want to put in too much money into buying furniture and beds, and it's just a long process. So I would suggest that you start looking beforehand, and then your life will just be much easier. And you know, you don't want to be stressing yourself when you get here, and then you're just stressed about things that you shouldn't even be worrying about. Then maybe a year into living in Ghana, then you can start looking at other options. If you're looking to furnish your place on your own, then you can be more tailored to your own taste and things like that. So just look at all these pointers that I've mentioned, and yeah, I'm so glad to share these with you. And please don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button, and I'll be sharing more content with you guys, which I'm excited about. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I have other videos on my channel, so make sure to look at these as well. And bye until next time.